So today, guys, we have the new exotic that just dropped on us with the quest line that's going to take you roughly an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. Now, we're going to go over how to get Ruinous Effigy, as well as the exotic catalyst, as that too is also dropping. Also, associated timestamps will be listed below. Now, to begin this quest, you'll need to head to the Tower Annex, go straight to the Prismatic Recaster, and you'll be given the quest gift. It'll want you to complete the Means to an End, which is the weekly mission that changes each week and rewards that pinnacle gear. You've probably already run it, but essentially you'll need to complete the weekly interference mission, Means to an End. Now, this mission is comprised of many parts. First step being to actually go and complete these contact public events. So for this week, head on over to Deighton, knock out these events. I want to say it took me 2 to actually complete this first step. Upon completing this though, the second portion to this quest wants you to either do Nightfall the Ordeals, Nightmare Hunts, or Crucible Control to obtain Umbral Traces. To me, the fastest way to do this is just load up the lowest level Nightmare Hunt and run it twice. Completely running it from start to finish twice, which takes all of like 5 minutes. I'm gonna go is extremely fast. You get close to 50% every single time, which means 2 runs and you're done. Now, after finishing all that, you can finally do the quest line that is present there on Io, which is the interference mission. Essentially, run through this mission, kill a bunch of Taken, and at the end, you'll have Zavala and Eris in there chatting with each other. So for my lore people out there, yeah, it's kind of an interesting dialogue between the both of them. And at this point, you will now get the Pendulum quest step. Now, this quest step has 2 parts that are probably going to take the longest out of all of these. One of which is going to require you to collect 25 calcified light that is spread out between Io, Mars, Titan, as well as Mercury. Now, these calcified fragments actually will pop up when you pull your ghost out. You see the little icon there, which almost looks like a patrol, but that actually represents the calcified lights. The locations to these calcified lights, though, are relatively close to all of the destinations that you fly into. The only one that we had to actually like track down was on Io. There was one that was a little past the destination point that wouldn't necessarily pull up for you. The rest of them, though, the moment you fly into that destination, just pull out your ghost, and there's a good chance you'll be able to view all of these from that destination location. And again, feel free to walk around and just see, but you'll have to end up with 25. And I know that means there may be one that straggles behind somewhere. Maybe you missed one. I'm going to timestamp all of these as well as the locations. Feel free to watch this from start to finish. My sound is muted because I had some music playing in the background. But for the most part, don't get too focused up on the locations of every single one of these fragments, as many of them you'll be able to just see the moment you pull out your ghost. So just follow those icons. And as far as the numbers go, I believe there's 10 fragments on Io, 5 fragments on Mars, 5 on Mercury, and 5 on Titan. So just count them as you pick them up. And you may even want to save like Io for last. Go ahead and get your 5 from each of the other destinations, Mars, Mercury, and Titan. Make sure you're at 15 before you actually begin Io, because Io has them in like pretty weird areas, pretty weird spots that are very much spread out. By the way, I have all of this timestamp. I'm going to let the gameplay showcase where each one of these fragments are at, but feel free to skip ahead to the next quest step, which is defeating 15 Savathun's Marionettes. I'm saying this right. Marionettes. We said it a number of different ways, like Marionette, Marionette. That don't sound right. But essentially, on Io and Titan, there are these yellow bar elite enemies that can spawn up throughout the contact public events, but I was having a hard time tracking them down during the public events. So what we actually did was we went to the rig there on Titan, and these guys will spawn up all around this rig, and you'll see it in the bottom left hand of your corner when they actually spawn. Things like taking blights are materializing nearby. One of them was like shield taking disruptors are nearby or escaping. That means that those marionettes are around you somewhere. You just got to find them. And these are like the various locations that we were fighting them on around this rig area. Although I don't believe they're just tied to Titan. I'm pretty sure they probably spawn up in other areas, maybe Mars and Io, maybe even Mercury. This seemed to be the most consistent area for me to get marionette kills. Now, this is probably the most aggravating one because after you like cycle through and do a wave of them, right? Because one marionette will pop up, you'll kill it. Another one will pop up, you'll kill it. And it only counts for one. You got to do this like 15 times. After you clear like an initial wave, say you do like 3 of them in a row, there'll be like a small cooldown before they pop up again. Like I said, you can go to other locations and destinations and see if you can find them there a little better. Maybe there is a method to getting them to spawn better at the contact public event. I have seen them there. I want to say I've seen them there because they look just like some of the champs that spawned during that event. I will say though, we wasted time trying to get them to spawn throughout the public event. And instead, we just had to sit in the rig and pretty much wait for these guys to spawn up, which is why this quest step was probably the most annoying quest step out of all of them. Now, upon completing this, getting the 25 calcified lights, as well as the 15 Savathun marionettes, you now will go into the next quest step called Feed. You'll need to defeat 100 targets using void elements, get 25 precision multi-kills, and complete Gambit or Reckoning activities. Now, we did Reckoning Tier 3, and each completion of Reckoning Tier 3 gave us 33% completion, which was able to be completed in pretty much 3 runs. It was like 33 and some change. So essentially for this quest step, the fastest route, at least to my knowledge, I didn't try Gambit Prime, but Tier 3 Reckoning, 3 runs was all it takes. Now, while you're doing this Tier 3 Reckoning, you can be doing things like getting those void element kills or getting those precision multi-kills. Myself, I was actually rocking Nezarec Sin, combined with a Reckless Oracle and Demolitionist, giving myself grenades at all times. I was just chunking grenades like crazy and snagging multi-kills with my Reckless Oracle. I'll say for the most part, you'll be able to complete both the multi-kill portion and the void kill portion easily before completing Tier 3 Reckoning 3 times. And I kind of completed them all at the same time. So that would be my suggestion on that front, guys. Just do Tier 3 Reckoning, use your best void-based subclass loadout, and rock whatever weapon that will allow you to get multi-kills with ease. Now, upon completing this quest step, that's it. You'll get an exotic engram called Shape. You'll need to bring this back to the Umbral Decoder, and when you turn it in, it will give you Ruinous Effigy. Now, Ruinous is a very, very unique exotic, probably one of the most unique exotics we've had the pleasure of playing with. We're going to be reviewing this evening, so be looking out for that review. Right now, though, I'm going to tell you how to get the exotic catalyst for this thing, which is pretty straightforward. First up, all you have to do is just go anywhere and kill something with Ruinous Effigy. And more than likely, you need to kill them with the sphere that it drops. It comes with the exotic perk Transmutation, kills the weapon, collapses the victim into a void transmutation sphere. Take that sphere and just kill some enemies with it. I want to say within the first 2-3 enemies, the catalyst drop for me. Now, in order to complete the catalyst, it wants you to do one of 2 things. Either go around and shoot those Savathuns Eyes, or proceed to get 1,000 kills with Ruinous Effigy. Now, that's getting 1,000 kills with the Trace Rifle itself or the Transmutation Spheres, whichever one you want. I kind of went both ways with this. I shot a couple eyes, which I will link a YouTube video below that will show you the location to all of these eyes if you want to get them. Because if you happen to do the eyes instead, which gives you like 3% per eye, you actually can knock out the Triumph as well. So in the long run, it's probably better to just go after Savathun's Eyes, shoot them with your Trace Rifle, 3% a pop. Yes, they might be kind of annoying to track down, but you're kind of knocking out 2 birds, 1 stone. If, however, you don't want to go that route and you just want to get a bunch of kills with it, it will take you approximately 2 runs inside of the Whisper mission in order to complete this. And I was actually dropping spheres down here where all these Shadow Thralls were. And there's actually a block feature, kind of similar to like the Relic from Destiny 1. You sit there and block and it pretty much kills everything that enters in there. Mindless killing, but this will actually kill yourself if you hold it and block for too long. And again, we're going to talk about that more in our review, but this is actually another quick way to completing this exotic catalyst. Now, the exotic catalyst really does make a big difference as it actually increases the damage here of Ruinous Effigy. So essentially, the weapon deals increased damage against targets that are damaged by transmutation spheres. Definitely worth it, guys. It's approximately a 30% increase there in damage. And yes, it stacks with things like weapon Elements of Light, Oppressive Darkness, both buffs and debuffs, this exotic catalyst is purely tied to Ruinous. Kind of similar to how Divinity was before it got nerfed. A very, very good catalyst here, guys. Definitely worth you going after. And for my PvE players that are wanting to use this exotic seriously in PvE content, highly suggest getting this thing. So guys, that is your quest steps and your guide to Ruinous Effigy. Again, a video of the review will be out shortly and will be linked in the description below. So be looking out for that. Fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming and watching. And as always,
slap that like button like your mama told you right.